Welcome to the video. Let's get into it. We got some speed work. We're out here at the field. Just got here, about to run some sprints. Start the day off right, nice and fast. And then we got some legs later today, so a little double. Just get after it today. But today's sprint session, been a fun one. I've been following kind of this progression. If you're interested in it, Nathan Kiley Blue Program, look that up online. So Nathan Kiley's he's now a cricket strength and conditioning coach, but he's done like rugby league and stuff, but he's very big in like speed training. So he's a really good 8-week program online. And I'm doing the second 4 weeks of it, the intensification block, which I really enjoy. So last 2 weeks, or this week, or today's session, for example, but both speed sessions are the same. So Monday and today, so I did a fly 15. So, build up speed for 30 yards, build. Once I hit 30, I hit 100% speed, and I maintain that for 15 yards. I do 3 of those, so some max velocity work, top end speed, and then once I get those, and then it's just 640s. So 640s, a lot of volume, which I kind of like, but 640s, rest about 3.5 minutes in between each rep. Make sure we're getting full intent, but good speed session. We'll start off though with a nice warm up, getting through some drilling, some scissors, prime the body, some plyometrics, and yeah, let's get into it. So I always start off with a dynamic warm up, really trying to warm up the hamstrings, the glutes, the adductors, hip flexors. First thing you're doing, especially before speed work, definitely want to get a good warm up in. Like sometimes before conditioning, if it's not maximal, sometimes I won't warm up, but speed work, always gotta get a good warm up in, make sure the hamstrings, everything is feeling good. So do some scoops, some reverse lunges with reach, some lateral lunges, some toe walks, some single leg RDLs, and some toe touches. So I just do everything for about 15 yards, try to take my time there. That's a cool little one, little toe walk, warms up the ankles, feet, which started throwing this one in, which I like. But just go through this, one set of each, takes about 2 minutes, but gets me feeling good. I'll do this and then get into some of the drill work, but that's kind of the flow of it. Dynamic warm up, just get body moving a little bit, and then usually some drills, and then build up on the drills, some plyos, and then get into the sprint work. So start off with that, and then I have this ankling. So if you want a good demo, I'd probably look up a track coach, but essentially you're thinking about stepping over your calf for 10 yards, then stepping over your shin for 10 yards, and then stepping over your knee for 10 yards. So they're progressively building up on each other, and you're thinking about trying to pull that heel towards your butt. But it's really good for kind of working on just some mechanical stuff, but also warming up a little bit. And then went from that into some triple switches. So here, 1, 2, 3, stick it, hold it for a second. 1, 2, 3, stick it, hold it. So really working on driving that knee up, pulling that toe towards the shin, and pushing hard into the ground. So these are really good. The A series switches, really good for kind of working on those front side mechanics. So 3 sets there, and then I did a single switch with a skip. So adding a little skip element to it, continuous movement, trying to be quick off the ground, punch that ground. Did 3 sets at 10 yards here. So I've always done some switches, and drill work, it just warms me up, gets the hip flexors again, kind of extended warm up, but also, good to do some drills, kind of work on the mechanics, because naturally mechanics are probably pretty bad. So those have helped a lot. And then got into some plyos, just did some bounds here, some alternating bounds. So think about like a deer run, an exaggerated run, trying to get horizontal and vertical with each step, attack the ground, really extend. Did 3 sets of 20 yards there. And then got into some scissor prime time. So I actually did some scissor buildups first, 2 by 30, and then I did 2 of those. All right, finish that warm up. Warm up takes a while. Speed warm ups take your time. You definitely want to be nice and prime before you sprint. So that takes like 18 minutes. Did some drills, warmed up the hamstrings, did some bounds, feeling good. Now it's time to get in the max velocity sprints first. So we'll go 3 fly 15s. So I got it set up right here. Be a 30-yard build into a 15-yard fly. So 3 of these, full recovery in between, and then we'll get in the 640s, but let's go. All right, so a couple hours later, went to the gym, got into the lower body session. So I always start lower body the same way. I do TKEs, 15 each leg, Copenhagen plate, 20 seconds each side, and then a single leg glute bridge, 10 each side. These are 3 movements I like to do. I always do some sort of movement prep, and I'll go through it 2 times as like a circuit. It's more just a confidence thing. Like usually, I mean, if I sprint in the morning and then I go to the gym, I'm usually kind of warmed up, even with a couple hours in between. But I think something like that, one, you got to think prehab, not rehab. You'd rather do it before than have to get hurt. So I think it serves in the long run, doing that twice a week. You build up some volume, and just good to, for me, I like warming my knees up and my hips and my adductors, my glutes. Gets me feeling good, gets some of the tightness out, but also I think it's just kind of like a mental switch where it knows I'm about to lift and progressively get into it. But I think a warm-up's individualized. If you just like going straight to the barbell and squat and you feel good, by all means. But you don't have to overcomplicate a warm-up and do a million different mobility. Just pick a couple, warm it up, and stick with them. That's what I do. So those are 3 movements I like. And then the main movement for the day. So it's kind of a strength day, hypertrophy day, a lot of volume. But started with wave load. So on squats, I did 753, 753. So on the wave loading, what a wave is 3 sets. So is 1 wave. So that's 753 is the first wave, and then sets 4 through 6, that 753 is the second wave. So your goal with that first wave is to almost be a little conservative, especially in your first 2 sets. Like this, I just used 390 for 7, which was like 77% of my max. Nothing crazy. Moved really well, but I have a tendency where I'll go way too heavy every set, and then the last 2 sets, which are the most important ones of your second wave, I end up failing, not getting the right amount of reps. So I was trying to be smarter, and I'm trying to be smarter moving forward, and like treating these first 2 sets as a second set here for 5 or 415, just pretty conservative, and going a little lighter than I typically would. So then that third set I can really use to prime myself, and then sets 4 and 5 and 6 I can be slinging some weights that maybe I wouldn't have done if I were a little too cooked from the previous one. So in essence, you want to use those waves to prime you for that second wave. So you shouldn't go too heavy, but heavy enough to kind of prime you, get some volume in, and then really attack those second wave. Kind of the money sets is sets 4 and 5 is when you're returning back to that wave, because you kind of use that lower rep set 3, which is here, 3 reps to really prime you for those last 2. So kind of a lot of explaining there, but if you're interested in wave loading, Christian Thibodeau, or just look it up online. It's a very popular scheme. There's a ton of different ways you can do it, rep schemes. I love doing it for strength, and I'm trying to be a little smarter this time, because I typically do them and I will burn out because I'll go way too heavy on the first couple sets. So again, trying to be a little conservative, be a little smarter there so that I can rip it on these last ones. So this was the 5th set here. I didn't record the 4th one. 4th one I ended up doing 405 for 7. And then I ended up doing 435 for 5 and then 455 for 3. So felt pretty good, was excited with those numbers. And I'll do this wave loading for 2 weeks, 753, 753. Next week I'll go a little heavier. And then weeks 3 and 4 I'll go 642, 642. So did that, the 6 sets there. I love squatting, man. When I record the videos, it's funny because I start it when I get ready to squat, and they're like 2 minutes, because I literally get up ready to squat and I stand there for about 2 minutes. I have to get so fired up to squat. My favorite movement, but man, psychologically, I gotta go to war. It's a battle out there. But did that and then got into some heavy RDLs. RDLs are a staple. Build a strong posterior chain. Did 5 sets of 6 here with 405. RDLs, use straps, use a belt, especially straps. Like, why would you limit yourself with your grip? Your hamstrings are so much stronger. If I were just doing 6 and I didn't have straps on, I'd probably barely be able to do 315. So it's not a pride thing. You're not soft if you use straps or a belt. Like, you're just limiting yourself. So you can go heavy as hell in RDLs. Treat RDLs heavy as hell. Overload them, get strong in them. They're a compound movement. Strong glutes, strong hamstrings, they freaking attack that. So the 5 sets of 6 here with 405, moved pretty well. Again, after 6 sets of squats, it's a battle out there. A lot of volume, as I like to do. And then went from that into these hand-supported Bulgarian split squats. So I'm holding on to these little pins, these racks here, and then I got the safety bar on my back. So I got like 350. The goal here is, I've been kind of playing around with it. I was doing dumbbell Bulgarians for a while, And then I kind of maxed out the dumbbells and kind of got tired of using them. I don't want to say maxed out like in a cocky way. Like you can always add a tempo or something else, but I've been doing them for so long. I wanted to change the implement up. So then I started doing the barbell, but like a barbell on your back, the stability, the whole time I'm just thinking about balance. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to fall over. So I can't really actually focus on the movement. So then I was like, let me do these hand supported ones where I can I isolate the leg, get a single leg movement in, load the hell out of it, but also not have to worry about, losing stability or balance. So those were a grinder today. I did 3 sets of 8 there. My legs were pumped up. I mean, like, they still suck as much as a regular. I mean, everyone knows the pain of a rear foot elevated Bulgarian split squat. No matter the way you do it, they suck. These probably suck even more because you can overload the heck out of it. Yeah, you get a little hand assistance there, but man, my quads were pumped after this. 8 each leg, just 3 sets. I'll finish a set and I immediately fall back into that bench and sit there for about 5 minutes, dreading the next set. But that's what I like to do. It's squat, RDL, heavy single leg. It's a lot of volume. I mean, this session takes me well over 2 hours. Not saying like you have to do it that way. Like you can obviously adjust the volumes as needed and do a little less, but I just like doing a lot on leg day. I love volume, man. You get the front angle here, the little face, the grimace, the biting of the tongue, which people love to point out. Those are rough. Anyways, finished that. So those 3 main movements, and then I got into this. This is the last set here. So I did superset, seated hamstring curls, leg extensions, the classic machines. I did about 3 sets, 10 to 12, and then the last set here, you'll see I did a little rest pause. So I went till failure, rested 20 seconds, and then banged out as many extra reps as I could. I love doing like 2 hamstring exercise movements. So the first day of the week, this is my second leg day, I did a glute ham raise and then a low back extension. On this day, I do my heavy RDLs and seated hamstring curls. So obviously, when you're training the hamstrings, you can train it like an RDL where it's gonna be more hip dominant, and then you can also train it with a curl where it's more knee dominant. So try to make sure you get both of those throughout the training week to really isolate the hamstrings, get a lot out of it. So hamstring curls, seated hamstring curls, glute ham raises, lying hamstring curls, great knee dominant movements that will blow up your freaking hamstring. So that was a rest pause, rested about 20 seconds, and then locked in and got those extra reps. And I'll tell you what, when I do seated hamstring curls, I get a chest pump like nothing else because I'm pushing so hard into those little handles right there. My chest will almost cramp up when I'm doing them. I'm like, is this a lower body day or my upper body day, Walk out of the gym with a chest pump. It's a good feeling, it actually helps. But did that and then got into the leg extensions. We got the aerial view, the top-down view. The camera's doing me some favors with those quads. But here, did the same thing, 3 sets, 10 to 12. I'm trying to do like a 3-second lower on the way down, milk it. I wish this machine, you get a little deeper. There's like a little pad there that kind of prevents getting a little deeper. It's still a good range of motion, but if I get a little more stretch in the quad, it would be awesome. That's why I have to load it up so much. So went until failure, contemplated life, rested 20 seconds, and then banged out as many extra reps as possible. This felt good. Like this was one of those leg days where after this, I could barely walk. Again, my legs don't get really that sore just because I train my legs so often and so frequently. But when I do usually my glutes will get sore for whatever reason. When I do a reverse lunge or something, my glutes will really get sore, but my quads really get sore, so it's kind of nice. But did that rest pause here, grimacing at it. Got about 3 extra reps there. Finished out the 3 sets there, and then just finished off with some calf raises. So we have this, this is kind of the easiest way to load the calves. It's a belt squat machine. You just get up on the edge, do a standing calf raise. Love this variation. Big squeeze. So you're thinking about driving those heels towards the ground and driving up on those toes. I love doing this variation because we don't really have a seated hamstring curl and a single leg one. Whenever I do like a dumbbell one, I always end up like grabbing too heavy of a dumbbell, not getting a full range of motion. Again, this is kind of similar to the Bulgarian where you can hold on to something, really isolate it. Like obviously like there's a time and place for doing movements that do require stability, but like if I'm doing something just for hypertrophy or just, bodybuilding work, then I want to hold on to something and get the most stability out of it so I can actually overload the movement. So did that, and then I was throwing toes to bar on a lower body day. Again, hit abs like 4 days a week because I love doing abs. Toes to bar, if you haven't seen this variation, the bar behind the back, what it does is allows you to kind of rock up on the bar. So typically like your hip flexors and your grip might start taking over on a regular toes to bar. So this kind of takes it out
Doesn't fatigue them as quickly, so you can really isolate the abs a little more. Both variations are great. I just really love this one. Do this twice a week. But that was the full lower body day.
Back from the gym, time to eat up. I'm making what I eat for breakfast every day because I'm freaking obsessed with it. If you've watched a second of one of my videos, you know how much I'm obsessed with breakfast. Same exact thing every single morning. I can't wait to get out of bed to eat it. What I find though is, and I noticed it today, as I'm eating the breakfast, I'll be halfway through it and I'll already be fantasizing about it the next day. So I'm in the middle of the process of eating the breakfast and already thinking about, oh, that would be nice to eat it again. It's wild. It's breakfast and I'm thinking about it like that. Weird feeling, but anyways, I'm making it again because usually I never eat it twice in a day. It's like the first time, but where's that thing at? But anyways, I love it so much and it's such a good meal. I mean, it's 5 eggs, 4 ounces of turkey. There's 70 grams of protein in this. Peppers, onions, it's good. I throw a little bit of cheese, the bread. But man, I mean, I'm a weird person because this breakfast, it's got a chokehold on my life. I'm obsessed with this thing. But I was actually gonna eat salmon. I was gonna make, in my last video, I reminded myself how good salmon tacos were. And that's what I was planning on making, but Whole Foods was out of salmon. Well, they weren't out of salmon. They were out of pre-made salmon and or already cooked salmon. I just didn't feel like buying salmon because I want to make something quick. So here we are. We're making this, but I don't know. I just love breakfast, and you can't go wrong with the staples. Eggs. I get pasture-raised eggs now. That was a life changer. I noticed the difference. They taste so good. I know they're a little more expensive, a little more bougie. Not saying you need them. Eggs are eggs. They're delicious. They're great for you. Don't be scared of the yolks. I can't wait to eat this.
And that is the end product. The 5 eggs, spinach, green pepper, onion, 4 ounces turkey, a little bit of cheese, sourdough bread. It's amazing as always. This is meal number 3. But yeah, I can't wait to dig into this. Eating it for the second time today. That's a first, but it looks as good as ever. All right, gonna wrap the video up here. On a walk right now. Go for a walk every day. Just gives me something else to do outside of working out and get some steps in. And it's just nice to be outside and walk around random places. So hop on the old 10-toe express, get some steps in. Usually walk for like 40-ish minutes or so. But yeah, so that was a full day of training. Sprints in lower body. Kind of my video structure. I think what I'm gonna do, upload twice a week. One will probably be more of a full day eating and training vlog, and this other one will probably just be more of like the full workout and then maybe some other clips, maybe another full day, who knows. But this one's kind of just mostly the workout. So that lower body session and those sprints, you know, obviously a high volume day, a lot of stuff on one day, but putting all your highly central nervous system stuff complement one another. So sprints, did them earlier in the morning, then lifted a couple hours later, and when done right, they can prime you. I just felt great heading into that lifting session, which was good. Hit the squat numbers I wanted to. RDLs were good. Those rear foot elevated. So a meaty session, but hey, that's the way I like to train. I like doing a lot. I like volume, baby. Feed me volume. That's the way I like to train. And I feel like I get a lot of intent out of it. Like, I can do a lot of volume, get a lot of intent. But yeah, we'll wrap the video up here. Great day of training. Those are my favorite days. Sprints in lower body. They're physically demanding, they're mentally demanding, having to lock in for each set, as I do when I squat or RDL. Man, it takes a lot, but it's a good video. Don't really have a message today. I think my last one had a good one, but you know, I think just keep showing up, be consistent. You know, if you show up, put your foot in the door, you do the thing, you know, that's half the battle. You know, that's more than half the battle. You know, you're doing the thing and you just stack that. So that's what we're all about with this channel. We're all about being consistent and stacking those days, because you never know what will happen, how that consistency, what it will turn out to be. So that'll be our word. Be consistent, be disciplined, keep showing up, outwork your self-doubt. A lot of quotes thrown at you at the end, but wrap it up here. Appreciate everyone watching. I now put the full workout in the description, so if you're interested in it, it'll be down there. As always, follow me on Instagram at Shane Performance, and if you're interested in the style of training, I have a couple options. I have my online coaching, which is the most individualized, personalized. I have set 8-week plans, and then also the Powerjacked team. So look forward to the next one.